Alright, just so you know, section 7.1 is not officially part of the curriculum. It was covered in Math 100P, so that's there for you for review, but doesn't count for you or against you, but you're expected to know the material. 7.2, I'm going to go through a few problems here. We're trying to find the lowest common denominator between these two rational expressions, and so that usually starts with analyzing the denominator, and we try to factor each denominator and see if we have any common factors. So this is going to be x plus 1 and x plus 4. This one's going to be x minus 4 and x plus 4. So our common denominator has to have a factor for each distinct part of that you see. So in other words, I have to have one of each type. So if I have an x plus 4 in my LCD, I have to have an x plus 4. Well, that takes care of this one, that takes care of this one. Then these are distinct, right? So they have to be there as well. So I need one x plus 1, one x minus 4, and one x plus 4. So you need one of each distinct factor. Now this one says subtract and simplify. Okay, well here I don't have a common denominator, so my common denominator has to be both of these. X plus 1 times x minus 1. So that's my common denominator, okay? Now, you look here and you say, okay, what's missing in this denominator? Well, the x minus 1 is missing, so that's what you multiply the 7 by. So you multiply the numerators by what's missing in the denominator. Now over here, what's missing in this denominator? The x plus 1, so that's what you multiply the 3 by. And then you multiply, and simplify. So you're going to get 7x minus 7 minus 3x minus 3. Be careful with the negative. It carries over. So that together becomes 4x, and then minus 7 and minus 3 becomes minus 10. So you have minus 4x minus 10 over x plus 1, x minus 1. Now you can simplify that to 2x minus 5 over x plus 1, x minus 1. That would be the final answer, okay, for that one. Now over here you're asked to find you're asked to subtract those two. Well, the key for this problem right here is to know that these are related. They are not the same. Like if you had 10 minus 5, that's not the same as 5 minus 10, because they would be opposites of each other. That means same opposite side of 0, so same number, different sign. So therefore they are related. So my LCD can be x minus 5. It's just that I have to multiply this by negative 1. So 5 minus x is really equal to negative 1 times x minus 5. So that means when we have to adjust that one over there. So my common denominator is going to be x minus 5. So that means I don't touch the 9x at all, because that is the exact same denominator. Here we're off by a negative 1, so it's going to be minus because it's a subtraction problem. And then negative 1 times 7x. Just be careful there, because we have to subtract that. We have to multiply this by a negative 1. That's independent of this minus sign over here. So this is going to become 9x plus 7x. Because it's going to be minus a negative 7x becomes positive 7x over x minus 5. And then we could simplify that to 16x over x minus 5. Just be careful with that minus sign, and then we have the negative 1 we have to multiply by because the denominators are off by a negative 1. Now over here, you're asked to find, I don't know what you're asked to find. You are probably asked to find the lowest common denominator. Okay? So your lowest common denominator there, well, you have to factor both denominators in order to do that. So this is going to be x plus 4, x minus 2. And over here, this is going to be x plus 4 times x minus 3. Again, you need one of each distinct factor. So if you have x plus 4, that's one of them. So your LCD is going to be x plus 4, and then you need one of each. So you're going to have x minus 2 and x minus 3. This is just prepping you for the more advanced problems that are coming. So this one down here, number 5, little bonus here, you have to subtract these two expressions. Well, you can't add or subtract anything unless you have a common denominator. Hence the problems we had up there. So we need to factor that. That's going to be 9 and 3. So x minus 9, x plus 3. You need a common denominator first. And over here you're going to have x minus 9, x plus 9. So your LCD before you do anything is going to be x minus 9 is one of the terms we need. And then x plus 3 and x plus 9. So that's our LCD. So that's our common denominator. And then you ask yourself, what's missing here? Well, you have these two factors, but you don't have the x plus 9. So x plus 9 is what you multiply the 1 by. Now over here, the x squared minus 81, was generated by these two factors. So which factor is missing? The x plus 3. So that's what you multiply the 6 by. And then you multiply and simplify in the numerator. So you're going to get x plus 9 minus 6x minus 18 over the LCD. And you can fill in the LCD when you're done. So you're going to get negative 5x minus 9 over the LCD, which was x minus 9. That's x plus 9 I wrote down by mistake there. And then x plus 3. So you replace the LCD on the final step and then leave it. Okay, in 7.3, you have a key rule that's used. And that is that if you have a fraction divided by a fraction, which can be written this way or it can be written this way, no matter which way it's written, you're going to invert the second fraction and multiply. So you change division to multiplication. That's what's going to happen here. So for right here, you're going to multiply the numerator by the reciprocal of the denominator, okay? And so when you do that, you're able to divide out those common terms, and you're just left with 6 over 19. Now over here, it's a little more complicated because we have to get a common denominator in the numerator first. So you put that 3 over 1. You get a common denominator of x in the numerator. So 5 stays the same. Now this is missing the x, so you have to multiply the 3 times the x. So it's 5 plus 3x over x, and that's all over the 2. And since it's over 2, this is really over 2 over 1. So that's the big division line. So you're really going to take 5 plus 3x over x and multiply it times 1 over 2. Now you might know a little trick that you can multiply these denominators, but in case you didn't do it, just make the 2 over 1. And then remember, fraction divided by fraction, you multiply the numerator by the bottom reciprocal of the bottom fraction. So when you do that, you're going to get 5 plus 3x over 2x, and that'll be your final answer there. Now over here, you have, in order to be able to do this, you need a common denominator. Your common denominator here is going to be 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. So 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. So, okay, so 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. That's my LCD for the numerator. So what's missing here is the positive one. So you have 2x plus 1. What's missing here is the 2x minus 1. So it's minus 1 times 2x minus 1. That's what's missing there. Okay, and we have to simplify that. So we're going to get 2x plus 1 minus 2x plus 1. Okay, right. So you're going to get 2x minus 2x is 0, and you're going to get 1 plus 1, you're going to get 2. So the whole thing boils down to 2 over 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. But then you have that bottom fraction there, which was over x plus 1. So you have to take the reciprocal of that and put x plus 1 in your numerator and x in your denominator. So your final answer is going to be 2 over x plus 2 times x plus 1 over 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1, and then times the what do we do there? Times the x. And the final one here, you need a common denominator. So this is the difference of squares. So your common denominator here is x plus 2, x minus 2 for the numerator. Okay. And what's left here, you have 8, and the 7 is this is missing the x minus 2, so it's 7. Yeah, x minus 2 it's missing. So and down here your common denominator is x plus 2, x minus 2 also. What's missing here is the x minus 2, so you have 4 times x minus 2. Here you're missing the x plus 2, so you have 3 times x plus 2. Now we have to clean that up, and we're going to have 8 minus 7x plus 14. Yes, over x plus 2x minus 2 divided by, and this is going to be 4x minus 8 minus 3, plus 3x plus 6 over x plus 2x minus 2. And so when we divide, we're really going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we can simplify this now, and you're going to get 22 minus 7x over x plus 2x minus 2. Now we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, so that means x plus 2x minus 2 goes up here. And over here you're going to simplify, it's going to become x minus 2. So this all divides out. x minus 2 is divided out, and x minus 2, so your whole final answer is just going to be 22 minus 7x over x minus 2. Okay, in section 7.4, we're solving a rational equation. So unlike before, now we have equal signs. So now we can multiply both sides of the equation by the same quantity and eliminate some of these denominators. All right, so that's the key difference in the section. So the first problem I want to point out is if you have an equation and you're given answers that are possibly correct, and just to check to see if one's right or one's wrong, the key is that you can't have a number that makes the denominator equal to 0, because then it becomes undefined. So 4, that's not an issue, because 4 does not make a denominator equal to 0. But if I put a negative 6 into here or here, I'm going to get 0 in my denominator, and that means sometimes you get an answer, but it's not allowed. So that means that it's extraneous, so we don't count it. Now over here, okay, first one I want to talk about, you want to get a common denominator for both sides all together. So if you have x and 3x and 1, what does that all go into? So it's this least common denominator. What do they all go into? The smallest amount that it all goes into is 3x, because x goes into 3x, 3x goes into 3x, and 1 goes into 3x. So that's the smallest amount that all three denominators go into. And you want to multiply both sides by that lowest common denominator. And if you do that, you're gonna simplify your terms. You're gonna get 27, and over here this 3x is just gonna make 1 in my numerator, and over here you're gonna get plus 30x. And then you could solve that, and you're going to get 30x is equal to 26, and you get x is equal to 26 over 30, which is simplified to 13 over 15. And it's okay, it doesn't come out to a whole number, all right? Now over here, you need a common denominator. Now if you don't have a denominator, put it over 1 if you have a whole number. Then you're looking at all the denominators, and you see you have x plus 4. So the LCD for both of these, for both sides, is going to be x plus 4. So that's what you multiply both sides by. So we're multiplying both sides by an LCD. That's what we're doing, both sides. That's our technique that we're learning. So if we do that, we're going to get just 3. I think that was plus negative 6. So just going to say minus 6 is equal to, now it's going to be negative 6 times x plus 4 over here. So if we multiply this out, we get negative 3 is equal to this and this. That's negative 6x minus 20, that's a 24. So you add 24, and you're going to get 21 is equal to negative 6x. And then we get x is equal to negative 7 over 2. Okay, negative 7 over 2. So over here, what's our lowest common denominator altogether? It's going to be x plus 4. LCD is equal to x plus 4, x minus 5. So if we do that, we're going to have 2 times x minus 5 plus x times x plus 4 equals the negative 4x minus 19, because this whole denominator is eliminated. So you have 2x minus 10 plus x squared plus 4x equals negative 4x minus 19. You solve for x, and you're going to get, let's clean this up, you're going to get x squared plus 6x minus 10 is equal to negative 4x minus 19. And you subtract, add that over, add 4x and add 19. You get x squared plus 10x, and you're adding 19, so it's going to be plus 9 equals 0. And then you have to factor that. So that's a quadratic. You set it equal to 0, and you factor. So that's why we factored before. So we have x plus 1 times x plus 9 equals 0. So therefore, if each piece equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, or x plus 9 equals 0. So therefore, x equals negative 1, or x equals negative 9. And the last one we'll do here, our LCD for both sides, you have to factor this. That's going to be x plus 1, x plus 2. So therefore, our LCD, and this is going to be factored x plus 2, x times x plus 2. So our least common denominator for both sides altogether is equal to x plus 2, and x plus 1. You need one of each distinct factor. So if you look over here, what's missing? You're going to x plus 1, and you're going to square that because you see that x plus 1 is missing. X plus 1 squared minus, and you have x plus 4 times x plus 1. And then over here, you're going to have this is x plus 1 equals negative 7x. You have to multiply that out, and you get x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus, this is going to be x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals negative x. So my advice to you after that is to subtract. You get x squared, so you're going to add out. You get 2x minus 2x minus 7x. You continue and you simplify, solve for x, set the quadratic equation equal to 0.